praised his team, and he even said, let's focus on the positives. He was going to praise the team for hanging in there, not giving up, the way they finished. They had an opportunity to win the game. And that's where I want to start, because I'm not going to judge Lovie Smith by wins and losses at this point with where they are in the process. I think there does kind of have to be a gray area when you judge coaches, players, general managers, whatever, in this situation, especially when two football idiots were running the organization before, and Bill O'Brien and Jack Easterby, the worst display of front office work you'll ever see. But there are like certain moments where you can judge a coach. And if Lovie Smith is going to say we're close, and if Lovie Smith is going to say, okay, we're in position to win, then that's where the curve goes away and you start to assess a coach. So today was really the first time that I got to look at Lovie Smith and say, okay, what the hell were you doing here? What was that? And in my previous videos, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'm going to have some of my boys coming in here as well. But if you're new to the channel, like, what I've tried to be like as patient with Lovie as I can possibly be. My bad, I was getting distracted. I got my guys coming in, so I was going out there. But at the end of that game, if you look at what Lovie Smith did, first of all, the Chargers called the timeout, and they lined up on 4th and 1. So you had time to pick your defense. Lovie Smith then burns a timeout, and the defense seems completely unprepared for a play that should not have been a surprise. It's the same play they tried to run to Rex Burkhead, except they have Austin Eckler, so it actually made effing sense. So Lovie burned a timeout, and on the very next play, the defense looked out of sorts, and they moved the chains on a 4th down. Then the exact same thing happened again when the Chargers scored the touchdown. Okay, you burn that timeout. That timeout probably would have meant more had you gotten the stop or had you held them to a field goal. So Lovie killed the timeout there. Then we go to the end of the game, and why the hell was he calling a timeout down 10 at the end? That was some Greg Schiano bit coaching if I've ever seen it. And then why the hell is Damian Pierce running the ball at the end of the game? If there was ever a time to give Rex Burkhead a carry, it was there. I mean, my goodness. That was some bit coaching by Lovie. And honestly, one example, the example I just mentioned, doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. And the other one, that's something that you're going to need. You're going to need to handle those situations correctly, especially if you're going to be calling defense and especially if you're going to be managing the clock late in games. So that was the problem with Lovie. Also got to start questioning the defense as a whole, although I don't think he has a ton to work with. Let's go to the offense. Davis Mills started out terribly. It was check down central, check down central, check down central, check down central. Started out 10 of 14, 40 yards, an